and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Specializing in 7 brands, we are a 360-degree customer value chain that promises quality service, competent personnel, pricing transparency, and best price guarantee. Bring your car over today for a free courtesy check. We are located at Karen Road, Kabwagi area. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix, fancy's just for me. It really feels very comfy. I don't have to stop playing. Molfix pants fits me perfectly.
An invention from Molfix just for your baby. Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Welcome to Good Life, where we are all about you. We know that health isn't just about getting rid of aches and pains when you are under the weather. It's more than just prescription refills and medication. It's all about going the extra mile for you. Whether it's our expert advice on skincare or nutrition, perhaps a quick lab test, an on-call doctor, or even basic vital checks like BMI, blood pressure, or blood sugar, we got you. You can also order from our website and enjoy delivery services. Walk into any of our 67 branches across Kenya today and start living the good life. Good life. We are all about you.
Hello.
Babe, I'm lost.
What?
I can just see beautiful trees, beautiful gate, solar street lights, and a water tower. Please come get me.
I'm on my way. Babe, what's happening?
I was just teasing. I needed a plot this Valentine's here. Book one for me.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup.
Makeup is a passion for me. I love beauty. Nililearn skill ya makeup na watch tutorials kama YouTube na Instagram. Alafu nikaanza practice na mabeshte wangu, and with time I would take pictures of them and the page would grow. Now people started DMing me and asking me how much do I charge? So that's how I started my business. That's where I get most of my clients, like 70%. Mi hutumia 1 GB giga bundles ya mobile data statement imenichanua kujua vile kila app inatumia bundles zangu. So now I'm able to channel my bundles on the apps I need the most.
Dial *544# and select 7 for balance to get your data statement, and you'll get free 200 MBs for first-time access.
This is NTV.
It's 3 minutes to the top of the hour. May seem that we're ahead of time, but you're just in time for the top bulletin in town. Let's get started. Tonight, ex-Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko faces up to the trouble stacking up against him. He denied all 12 charges against him, including robbery with violence.
To tarnish the moral integrity of
And now he has 2 more days in a cold cell to contemplate his fate. Also tonight, MCAs are in the driver's seat.
Just ensure that we get the car grant and leave the rest to us.
The sweeteners on the table as the BBI bill is set to be tabled in the county assemblies.
Don't make passing the BBI conditional to the car grant. Car grant is coming.
Plus,
Kenya will be in an electioneering mode from now up to 2022. And if leaders have started to behave badly today, what about the 2022?
putting out the flames of hate fanned by politicians' toxic tongues, NCIC now warns no one is above the law. And also tonight, a group of cops on night patrol broke into this home and beat up the family. Now, the DPP says they have no case to answer.
Na hajatuambia ni kwa nini amewithdraw. Hiyo ndio tungependa kujua sisi kama familia, wale ambao waliumizwa, na maafisa pia wangekuja waseme kwa nini walitupiga.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
I'm also with David Agondoa, sign language interpreter, and this is the top story from our newsroom. Former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko will spend 2 more nights at Gigiri Police Station pending his bail application. Sonko, who was arraigned in Kiambu Law Court early morning, is facing 12 charges. Vincent Oduor was following this particular court session and has this report.
After spending the night in police custody, impeached Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko was presented in Kiambu High Court under tight security. Special units from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations manned the courts, which was packed with plainclothes police officers. Sonko faces 10 charges in relation to an incident that occurred in Buruburu Phase 4 in Nairobi in May 2019. 9 charges were of assault and causing bodily harm, with the prosecution accusing Sonko of leading a group of men and assaulting 9 people. Sonko is also facing a charge of forcible entry into a property in Buruburu, but the former governor denied all the charges. The prosecution sought custodial orders in order to complete their investigations and take Sonko to Mombasa, where they say there is a warrant of arrest for a pending case against him. But the defense lawyers say the Mombasa case does not exist and accuse the state of using the criminal justice system to persecute Sonko on the basis of politics.
Have these charges been brought out of a political motive? None at all. We have not charged him with any political offense, as we said. And in any event, if, as they argue, they believe the charges are manufactured, Your Honor, those are issues for trial, and we shall face them without fear.
The disconnect between the purpose of the summons and the charging is either one, the state decided not to pursue the incitement charges, and because already they had summoned Sonko, an afterthought was charge him over that incident in Buruburu.
On Monday, Sonko presented himself at DCI headquarters for questioning after his efforts to obtain a court order to stop the interrogation failed. He had been summoned to record statements with regard to claims that he was involved in the planning and execution of 2017 poll chaos in Nairobi.
I'm sorry that the accused person doesn't feel too well, but I also must do my work diligently.
The court will rule on Thursday over whether Sonko should be released on bail. Vincent Odur, NTV.
Members of county assemblies insist the promise to give them car grants should be effected before they pass the Building Bridges Initiative Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020. They say car grants are used as a sweetener every time the state wants their support, but the promise is never fulfilled. However, ODM party leader Raila Odinga, who met ODM MCAs, says President Uhuru Kenyatta's word is his bond and the car grants demand should not be conditional. NTV's senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi has more.
Realizing the weight they carry is the bridge that will help the Building Bridges Initiative Constitutional Amendment Bill cross the murky waters it currently faces, MCAs have renewed their demands for their welfare to be looked into. Top on the list, car grants. In a meeting with ODM party leader Raila Odinga, ODM MCAs made it clear grants is the main driver for them to support the BBI, whose main proponents are President Uhuru Kenyatta and their party leader, Odinga.
We are very much ready in the assembly and we want to pass this bill. But before we pass it, Your Excellency, kindly take your verse. We want that car grant.
Kama waheshimiwa kwamba hiyo yaharakishwe vile maadui wako wengi na hiyo circular ikuje haraka kwa tena kwa wiki moja au wiki mbili.
Waheshimiwa wameketi hapa tangu 2017 hawajawahi fanya banking kwa sababu ya mfuko umetoboka. Sasa nafasi imetokea waendeko kwa bank waweke banking slip.
Baba, just ensure that we get the car grant and leave the rest to us.
14% of the president's salary ambayo inapatikana na wabunge. Let it also be 14% of the governor's salary in our county assemblies.
After listening to their song, Raila had a different tune.
Hiyo mimi nataka kuhakikisha nyinyi Uhuru amesema na hatarudi nyuma. Na hiyo si hongo. Hiyo si hongo. It is not. You are entitled.
Odinga said the wheels of government were already moving on the car grant issue.
If we can justify giving a car grant to the members of parliament, why not to the members of county assembly? It is something that is right. So don't wait and tangoja barua ndikuje ni I can tell you it is a guarantee.
President Kenyatta faced the same predicament last week, with MCAs from Mount Kenya pushing him to commit on the car grant issue.
Don't make passing the BBI conditional to the car grant. Car grant is coming. It's a word of honor. Kutoka mtu mugwana ambaye ana follow up.
But even as the MCAs demand car grants and an increase in their salaries, they have lined up debate on the constitutional amendment bill. Some counties have already introduced it before their assembly is ready for public participation.
Nairobi alone will have not less than 60 billion. 5% of total revenue in Nairobi, Excellency, is about 18 billion going to Ward Development Fund. Distributed by 85 wards, kila MCO Nairobi atakuwa na not less than 672 million. Ni raha si raha.
With a heightened activity around members of the county assembly, throwing sweeteners their way, calling upon them to pass the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, the understanding is that by the end of February, the proponents of the BBI want at least 30 counties to have passed the bill. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Nairobi County.
As a drive to survive by the politicians revs off, let's now get some opinions from the people, the Wananchi, on the growing temperatures or the rising temperatures within the country because of the politicians. Now, the growing vitriol spewed by politicians can be seen as manifestation of the rot at the top. Monday's shameful exchange between Dagoretti North MP Simba Arati and his South Mugirango counterpart Silvanus Osoro is just the latest example. NTV spoke to a few Kenyans who say they are appalled at the political intolerance and want the president to intervene for the goodwill of the nation ahead of the 2022 election year. Let's listen in.
Tuna furaha kwa yale tuliona jana.
Mambo kama yale ya kupigana mahali iko masishi, kusema ukweli, kwanza kabisa ni kukosa heshima kwa wale ambao wamefiwa.
Na sasa hatutaki kwamba Kisii pia ianze kuwa na vita, kwa sababu Kisii ni nchi ya amani. Tunataka niombe tu kwa wananchi, tunapochagua viongozi, tuchague viongozi ambao wanaleta amani.
Wanasiasa wanapofungua mdomo kuongea maneno ambao wanataka kuongea, wajaribu kuangalia tuongee maneno ambayo inaweza jenga nchi, si maneno ambayo inaweza bomoa nchi yetu.
Sisi wote ni Wakenya, na ningetaka nihimize viongozi wetu wakiongozwa na viongozi wao wale wako juu, waache hii tabia ya kuincite Kenyans ati wewe ni wapi, wewe ni wa wapi. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya.
I'm asking my president that bring the unity in the country. Wacha wa leaders wengine waambie hawa hii Kenya ni moja na hii Kenya itazidi kubaki.
Tungetaka viongozi wetu wasikuwa wanaportray mambo yenye ndatafanya tu tuapia tu violence ama watu kushoshea yani vita ama mambo itafanya watu wa Kenya wakuwe na vita kati yetu.
Hiyo maneno, hiyo ni vita ya viongozi, lakini si mzuri, kwa maana kila watu wako na haki yao na kila viongozi anaweza kiongozi usimama mahali popote.
Tumwelevu ni ajue kwamba hawa watu wanatupiganisha, lakini wao hawapigani. So mtu ajue hata akisikia wakipigana ama wakiongea, yeye ajijue yeye ni nani.
Tunataka siasa yenye inasema mambo ya maisha yetu ya sisi watu wa chini. Siasa yenye itafanya uchumi iendelee.
Kila mtu akiomba kura, kila mtu lazima awe na haki, akipata 2 ama 1, yeye ndiye atakuwa amepata. Lakini sasa wewe ukaanza kuchukia mwenzako kwa sababu anapikia fulani, kwa sababu anafungia fulani, hiyo sio sawa.
Wakati hao walikuwa nafaa tai, wanafaa long moja, wanafaa shati moja. Kwani sisi tuliambia mfanye safari moja? Si walikuwa wameongea pamoja na wakasikizana. Sasa ikitukana ambayo wameenda kawanya hawa. Mpaka chafuko sasa nataka lete chafuko 2022.
And I wish I could get your view and opinion on this, especially since it has the potential of raising the cases of violence heading up into 2022. Already we're politically charged as we get into the referendum for the BBI, and there is concern as to this particular temperature that's already raised. It will blow beyond the roof come 2022. So help us, God. Everyone is asking who should be giving us answers, and yes, some are asking the National Cohesion and Integration Commission if they can give any answers. Of course, over the times and instances where other politicians have been found to have spewed insensitive and insightful remarks, nothing has really been done. They'll probably trend for a day or two, but that's just it. And we'll be having a piece by Olive Burrows on the issue of political intolerance in Kenya. Quite a good piece that she's preparing for you in a moment. Now, the acting Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu may have received a temporary reprieve after a court-issued stay orders against the enforcement of a ruling barring her from office for a period of time. But questions on her integrity continue to injure Mwilu's chances of assuming the coveted Chief Justice position. Despite this, there has been an uproar on the ruling, with some in the legal fraternity terming it as a constitutional coup. Zainab Ismail interrogates the impact of the ruling, the woes surrounding DCJ Mwilu, and what it portends for the judiciary.
Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu might breathe a sigh of relief for the next 10 days, but a dark cloud still hangs over her head at the helm of the judiciary. Justice Patrick Otieno on Friday threw the judiciary into disarray temporarily after issuing orders restraining Lady Justice Mwilu from occupying her office and discharging her duties as acting Chief Justice and as a member of the Judicial Service Commission. An order that was then temporarily lifted on Monday for a period of 11 days, pending an inter partes hearing at the Meru High Court.
I think that is what you'd consider as a constitutional coup, properly so-called. I think an explanation needs to be given by the judiciary. It's not enough to say it was an ex parte order.
Throwing in more confusion, the ruling also overlooked the process outlined in the Constitution for the removal of a judge.
You have to petition the Judicial Service Commission. The Judicial Service Commission will form a committee to interrogate those claims on the face of it. If they make sense, they'll then write the judge, asking the judge to respond to those allegations. And if they feel that the grounds are substantial, then they would recommend the president to establish a tribunal. Then the president would establish a tribunal. The tribunal will now do the removal hearing, or the removal proceedings. If the tribunal is satisfied that those grounds have been proven, then the judge will stand removed.
Justice Mwilu had on Monday filed an urgent application seeking to suspend the decision. In her petition, Mwilu said the petitioner obtained what she termed as drastic and far-reaching orders by failing to disclose some facts to the presiding judge intended to cause embarrassment to the court. But as Mwilu's woes continues to multiply, the judiciary has been left in a state of limbo as Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu fights to clear her name.
Already, 2 judges have exited. The Chief Justice exited. Justice Jackson Boma Ojwang retired. If you remove or you suspend DCJ Mwilu, then now the threshold quorum at the Supreme Court falls to 4. The quorum by the law is that judges must be at least 5 on the bench. To constitute a full bench, to hear substantive matter application, such as the pending Supreme Court advisories, whether the BBI referendum should proceed or not, you need a full bench of at least 5. It means the Supreme Court is effectively crippled.
The case will be heard on the 12th of February. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
And let's see if cases of incitement by politicians will be heard anytime soon, given what's been happening and the concerns leading up to the general elections. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission says it is moving to have MPs Simba Arati and Silvana Sosoro face criminal charges for the violent acts they engaged in at the funeral service of the Kisii Deputy Governor's father on Monday. The Commission has also told NTV that it is working with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to have nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura face criminal charges for inciting violence against ODM party leader Raila Odinga. Olive Burrows with the latest developments.
It may have appeared comical, but the intolerance demonstrated by the Dagoretti North Member of Parliament, Simba Arati, and the South Mugirango Member of Parliament, Silvana Sosoro, on Monday is no laughing matter.
What happened yesterday was actually a criminal offense under the penal code, which is called array. These 2 MPs should be prosecuted, and so we will ensure as NCIC that through the DCI, these people are taken to court to answer to the charges of array and indecency.
Monday's events were only the latest manifestation of a growing political intolerance, coming just days after similar scenes were witnessed at a funeral in Bungoma. The wrangles for control of the Ford Kenya party getting out of control. And with Simeon Nyachai's burial looming in the horizon, the Abagusi Council of Elders are keen to make clear that political intolerance at funerals will no longer be tolerated.
First and foremost, let us understand what a funeral ceremony is to the affected or bereaved family.
But the problem isn't so much the forum, but what it bodes for the future.
Kenya will be in an electioneering mode from now up to 2022. And if leaders have started to behave badly today, what about the 2022?
Rocks having only recently been aimed at Raila Odinga and William Ruto on the campaign trail in Nairobi.
Ndio mtu aseme hii ni territory yangu, hii ni territory yangu, unaenda mnatupia Raila mawe Githurai atina matusi zima hasara alright unafikiria ya kwamba hata yeye hana vijana? Simuliona ile ilitokea the next day.
Hata kama mtu nasema unaenda mbaya wewe hutaki, wacha yeye aseme tu. That is the essence of democracy. That I may not agree with what you have to say, but I shall defend until death your right to say.
Mimi nawauliza, lugha yetu tuache kiburi na tuache matusi.
And though those in whose names punches, kicks and rocks are thrown publicly distance themselves from the actions taken in their names.
Ulienda Bama akashika we kichwa tukanyamaza. Ukaenda Githurai akashika we kifua tukanyamaza. Umeenda Kisii akashika tumbo tukanyamaza. Your Excellency, the next place you go, asijaribu kuteremka chini.
We've seen that some people want to start joking with you. And we are the only non-gazetted barracks in Kenya.
As courier, we will not entertain. Your Excellency, give us itinerary wherever you go. We can deal with others. Thank you so much.
Honorable Isaac Mwaura will be prosecuted because number one, he incited people to violence, and number two, that was hate speech.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission and the police having been taken to task by the Orange Democratic Movement in Mwaura's case for their failure to arrest such situations swiftly.
There are various challenges that we are facing. Number one is the ruling of the High Court that termed the incitement to violence charges as unconstitutional.
But for all the legislation that could be enacted, the question remains, when will Kenyans have had enough of the perennial election violence? Olive Burrows, NTV.
I was just asking whether you would send in your comment on this. Calvin Queens, you say, we're the ones who suffer once violence erupts. The leaders will book flights and take off. Well, not so much with the pandemic now, but they have options of somewhere else or other to go off to. And Calvin Queens finishes by saying, Wajinga ni sisi. Reflect on that as we take a break.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates. Because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there. And they never tasted this good.
Hello.
Babe, I'm lost.
What?
I can just see beautiful trees, beautiful gate, solar street lights, and a water tower. Please come get me.
I'm on my way. Babe, what's happening?
I was just teasing. I needed a plot this Valentine's here. Book one for me.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
How are you?
Fine.
What are you doing?
Candace,
what's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
Daddy said you helped us get a house, a car, and Mommy's business.
But I only helped them get the loans.
You did more than that. You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see Grandma, 42 jokes from Daddy, 49 laughs from Mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it. New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
makeup is a passion for me. I love beauty. Nililearn skill ya makeup na watch tutorials kama YouTube na Instagram. Alafu nikaanza practice na mabeshte wangu, and with time I would take pictures of them and the page would grow. Now people started DMing me and asking me how much do I charge. So that's how I started my business. That's where I get most of my clients, like 70%. Mi hutumia 1 GB gigabundles ya mobile data statement imenichanua kujua vile kila app inatumia bundles zangu. So now I'm able to channel my bundles on the apps I need the most.
Dial *544# and select 7 for balance to get your data statement, and you'll get free 200 MBs for first-time access.
Welcome back to NTV Tonight. The Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, has withdrawn charges against 15 officers who are accused of violating people's rights while implementing the COVID-19 containment measures. The officers reportedly attacked one family in Bungoma around March last year, ransacked their home as they assaulted them, leaving several injured. Nayoma Sampao has more.
It has been almost a year since security officers stormed Bernard Orenga's homestead and smoked them out of their refuge by lobbing tear gas canisters. He helplessly watched as those meant to provide security assaulted his wife, children and other family members at Emuhuyu village in Nambale, Busia County. After months of seeking legal recourse, Bernard Orenga and his family members walked to court today, hopeful that the 15 officers who attacked them would face the law. However, none of the accused officers showed up to take plea. The officers were set to face various charges including assault, causing bodily harm and malicious damage to property. However, it emerged during the court session that the Director of Public Prosecution had dropped charges against the police officers. This left the victims disoriented.
Hajatuambia ni kwa nini amewithdraw. Hiyo ndio tungependa kujua sisi kama familia, wale ambao waliumizwa. Na maafisa pia wangekuja waseme kwa nini walitupiga.
Human rights activists have expressed their disappointment on the decision to drop charges without considering the pain inflicted on the victims. They have vowed to institute private prosecution on the officers.
This is a travesty, it's a disgrace, and it is impunity of the highest order. What the state has shown today is that when it comes to police excesses, when it comes to police torture, then Kenyans are on their own.
Though disappointed, Bernard is still seeking an explanation from the Director of Public Prosecution and will keep pushing for justice.
Nimesikia wakili akisema ya kwamba 15 of them hawezi toka station wakuja hapa. Na hiyo siku walitupiga, si walikuwa more than 15, mbona walitoka station wakakuja wakatupiga? Bado tutafuatilia sisi kama wale ambao tuliumia. Tuone haki imetendeka, sisi ni wanyonge, but we believe lazima kuwe na justice mahali.
What has happened here in court today has only added further torture, mental and psychological, to the family, to the victims.
They are now pleading with the Director of Public Prosecution to reconsider his stance on the case to ensure justice for the victims. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
Now to the story of a man who disappeared after he allegedly stabbed his girlfriend for declining his marriage proposal. But 8 years later, Bernard Kiplimo Ketanyi resurfaces. Kiplimo was arrested on Monday and appeared before the Kabarnet Law Courts, where he was charged for causing grievous harm that left his girlfriend paralyzed. Ruth Sarmwe has the details.
The family of Joan Lebene arrived at the Kabarnet Law Court seeking justice for their 28-year-old daughter, who was allegedly stabbed for failing to accept a marriage proposal.
Tulikuwa tunabishana kwa sababu anataka kunichukua kama bibi yake. Nikamkataa.
The suspect, Joan's boyfriend, stabbed her several times in her ribs, on her head, and in her spine, and the May 2013 incident left Joan paralyzed. Though the family reported the incident to the police, the case file was never opened as her boyfriend, Bernard Kiplimo Keitany, went into hiding. Almost 8 years on, Joan continues to nurse both the physical and psychological scars that run deep.
Sina amani kwa roho. Naona tu mimi tu ninaishi kwa neema. Saa hizi hata ni kama ninatarajia tu kitu chochote, kama ni kifo ninaenda tu. Kwa hata mimi vile unaona sasa, unaona niko sawa, lakini ukitoa manguo utaona tu kweli niko na shida. Nilikuwa nataka kuendelea hata kimasomo, alinirudisha nyuma sana. Hata saa hizi bado ninaendelea hospitali. Nilienda hospitali mpaka hata nimechoka kuenda hospitali.
Despite the pain she may experience in her condition, Joan endured the discomfort of bad roads while traveling in this vehicle on an uncomfortable makeshift bed just to see her perpetrator face the law.
Sasa naomba koti achukulie hatua na washike kabisa kwa maisha yake yote, akae ndani. Cause alinidunga ni kama hakuwa ananitakia hata niishi. Hii ni kuua tu.
Nataka hii kijana apate uchungu kama huyu amepata uchungu. Sababu baba yake wakati yuko hai hakukuambia sisi pole. Mama yake hakukuja asema pole. Na asakukubali sababu ni watoto. Lakini huyu kijana na picha na baadaye anakuja weka sisi kitu mbaya.
And as the case kicks off, the family is hopeful that justice will prevail as they have depleted their resources while seeking medical assistance for their daughter. Ruth Sarmoi, NTV.
Pole sana to Joan Lebene, and even though that word of saying pole won't really do much, we hope that justice will be served for her. Here's what the face of COVID-19 looks like today in Kenya. Infections from the coronavirus in Kenya have reached 101,009 after 153 people tested positive from a sample size of 3,922. A welcome rise in the numbers is that of the recoveries, with 54 patients being declared COVID-19 free. Total COVID-19 recoveries in Kenya are now 83,990. Fortunately, there are now no new fatalities today, I should have said, and the death toll from the disease in Kenya remains 1,766. So the education concerns, and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers is rejecting potential amendments of the 2013 Basic Education Act put forward by Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha. Through the amendments, the CS aims to centralize operations at the Ministry of Education, but Kuppet argues that some of the proposals would take the country back to the days of colonial rule. Among the changes Kuppet is opposed to include the abolition of the National Education Board, which was initially formed to advise the Cabinet Secretary on education policy matters. Kuppet argues that the dissolution of the board would leave decision-making in the hands of the CES, yet it is the only platform that allows independent voices to give their views. Kuppet says the suggestion to add more government representatives to county education boards will overload and weaken them. The amendment bill also seeks the removal of teachers' unions in the county education boards, which Kuppet says would render the county education boards toothless.
Clawed back on the management of school activity funds. They jailed with the Cabinet Secretary, Professor Magoha's wildly unpopular call for the introduction of corporal punishment in schools. Our message to Professor Magoha is simple. You will not take Kenyans back to the dark days of authoritarianism.
And now we get into the business news. Dan Mwangi is standing by for that. Stay with us.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix fans with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix fans, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
We are here today to pay our tribute to Dudu. Dudu was full of life. He bit, stung, and made people itch at his own will. He spread malaria with great pride. To the family, stay strong and believe that the larvae he has left behind will follow in his wings.
I heard he was killed by mosquito. His family does not know yet. I said he was killed by mosquito.
Mosquito kills mosquitoes, cockroaches, and all household insects.
Confetti!
A product of Osho Chemical Industries.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Good evening and welcome to Business. I'm Dan Mwangi. Let's get down to just that. Now, Nairobians will begin paying to beat traffic jams on Wayaki Way, Uhuru Highway and Mombasa Road beginning February 2022, which is the month we've just begun, when the Chinese contractor developing the 27 kilometers toll road is expected to open the road for public use. Transport CS James Masharia, who led several of his colleagues in cabinet in assessing progress in construction, said the project will be completed by December 2021, after which the contractor would commence testing it for 2 months. Masharia also defended the viability and the financing model of the controversial 65 billion shilling project, which will see motorists pay between 100 shillings and 1,550 shillings, depending on the size of the car and the distance traveled, in a dollar-based toll system, and will cushion the Chinese operator from exchange rate losses.
And it's a testament that we can have more BOT projects, get the private sector to do these projects, because like you know, we are limited and constrained in terms of our budgetary allocations. We are also constrained as how much we can borrow. We don't want to keep on borrowing more money. Initially, the project was to take 3 years. But we have told the contractor, we want Kenyans to start using this route, because Kenyans take more than 2 hours from the Jomo Kenyatta Airport all the way to the city. And they have committed, they will complete this project by December this year.
Without infrastructure, the airport cannot survive for both transit and for domestic visitors. So infrastructure is key. This investment is key to the people to come in here, spend even 24 hours. So that is the innovation that will come in to give short stay, 24-hour visa. Those are the new things.
I guess it's fair to say that this is a tall order, or not, I don't know. Wait and see. Now, Kenya is looking to grow earnings from its textile and apparel sector by 10% and cut the import volumes of garments and footwear by 25% and 15% respectively by the end of 2021. This, the government says, will be achieved through getting more Kenyans to wear locally made textile and apparel products. According to the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade, influx of both new and second-hand clothes, higher costs of production, as well as a negative perception about Kenya's ability to produce high-quality and affordable products has left the country spending over 30 billion shillings on imported clothes alone every year. In 2019, Kenya spent 17.3 billion shillings on second-hand clothes, commonly known as mitumba, higher than what was spent by Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, Nigeria and Ethiopia combined.
We want all Kenyans to wear Kenyan clothes, and I think that is the message we are passing. It doesn't matter who you are, but whether you are, whichever level you are as a Kenyan, we want to encourage you. We want to tell you that you can find Kenyan clothes or Kenyan fashion at this particular spot. We want to make it affordable to you at whichever socioeconomic class you belong to, and we want to make you feel fashionable also at whichever socioeconomic class you belong to.
Whatever we advertise just both for foreigners and for Kenyans. And we have a saying, charity begins at home. It is ourselves who need to start it and support our textile before we even go to the foreigners. Because the foreigners, they will not buy clothes worth $1 billion, but we import 30 billion. So therefore, that is the purpose of this communication strategy, to change the mindset of Kenyans by telling them that when you say buy Kenya, build Kenya, we are not telling those other people. We are telling our people that we have good and quality products which are available and affordable.
It sounds like some might start calling it the textile industry. Now, the United Nations has declared 2021 the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development. This has attracted a section of youth in Mombasa who are tapping the potential presented by the creative industry to beautify the island city through art. This is expected to become a game changer, as it will also support the tourism sector, which is struggling after the ravages of the coronavirus pandemic. NTV's Kevin Mutai reports from Mombasa.
These designs painted on the walls of the Makinon Market in Mombasa, famously known as Marikiti, reflects a true definition of how creative art can be used as an attraction. Every fresh produce here has been mirrored on these walls.
Everyone is happy with the outcome. They love it. It brings beauty to the market. It brings customers, you know. So they're proud of what's happening right now, and the fact that it's a lady doing this. The more the better. Yeah.
The use of art and craft is also changing the general outlook of the port city as a tourist destination. Different designs of crochet are glowing at the railway's recreational facility, which is yet to be open to the public. The industry is now expected to thrive at a time the United Nations has declared 2021 as the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development. The sector is poised to generate employment for the youth and women, which will pave way for a more diverse business environment.
Creative economy to me means that bringing artists to life, facilitating what they are doing, and most of all, marketing the work that they do.
The murals and graffiti at Kingeleni along the Mombasa-Malindi Highway displays a preservation of the coastal cultural heritage.
If you go again to Old Town, there are certain elements that you will be able to observe there that tell, what happened in those sites. And so Kingeleni's artwork that you've been able to observe there is actually going to be not only engaging, it's also going to be educational, and of course it's going to be aesthetically entertaining.
They are actually uniquely branding Mombasa as a destination of choice. They are marketing Mombasa as one of the cities that has a unique, culture, a unique history that hasn't been told. And they're doing this, and they're telling our stories in a very powerful way using art.
This elevates the creative economy as an important tool for building a sustainable and inclusive future. Kevin Mutai, NTV in Mombasa.
Fair to say again that the crochet business is a neat business. It's a season of change at the top for Britam, as the chairman of the company, Walter Hollis, has now retired after attaining the age of 70 years. Britam's board charter requirements stipulate that independent directors shall not be over the age of 70. The board notes that Hollis has successfully managed the succession of the group managing director. Benson Wairegi, who has served at the company for over 4 decades, has handed over to the new group MD, Tavaziva Madzinga after briefly extending his stint at the helm. Hollas has been replaced by Mohamed Karama in acting capacity. I'm done. So it's business. Good night.
Welcome to Insignia Service Center, a state-of-the-art service center that offers diagnostics, repairs, wheel balancing and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Specializing in 7 brands, we are a 360-degree customer value chain that promises quality service, competent personnel, pricing transparency, and best price guarantee. Bring your car over today for a free courtesy check. We are located at Karen Road, Kabwagi area. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa. Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi guy, what
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
Lovers are booking their tables at GMC Place Kitengela. Yes, it's Valentine's. And as is custom, love is blossoming at the heart of GMC. Make that proposal, rekindle your romance, or treat your special someone. Let GMC Place Kitengela be your choice to bloom in love. With a few slots available, call us today on 0701 560 560.
Dettol to clean, protect, and keep you refreshed every day. I still can't believe how quickly you've grown. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Welcome back. A serial children defiler, Ismail Mustafa, has been sentenced to life imprisonment in a Mombasa court. The accused was found guilty of sodomizing a 3.5-year-old minor in 2019. In 2010, he was also convicted to life imprisonment for defiling another minor, aged 7 years, but was later acquitted by the High Court upon appeal. Mustafa had also twice before violently attacked Mombasa Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti during 2 separate hearings, causing the magistrate to scamper for safety. The court has ordered that his picture and details be entered into the sex offenders register. A third of endangered Rothschild giraffes have been rescued from Longicharo Island on Lake Baringo. As water levels rise around the lake, the land continues to shrink, threatening the survival of trapped animals. 6 remaining giraffes will be moved in the coming months. The island used to be around 100 acres in size, but believe it or not, there is now less than 8 acres of land left, leaving less food available for the giraffes. Rothschilds are one of the largest of the 9 subspecies of giraffes and can reach heights of nearly 6 meters. Giraffes can swim, but the waters of Lake Baringo are filled with predators and therefore unsafe. To move them to safe ground, special boats are needed.
Previous 2, which were moved early December. This is because over time we've trained the giraffe to feed within the barge. They got used to feeding, and it was easy to move that giraffe without tranquilizing it or use of any medicine. The moment we train these remaining giraffes, the moment they are ready, we move them. But the target is to move these animals by maybe April, May, latest May, around there. Then we'll have moved all the animals.
Time for another break. Watson Karuma is standing by with the sports.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Hello.
Babe, I'm lost.
What?
I can just see beautiful trees, beautiful gate, solar street lights, and a water tower. Please come get me.
I'm on my way. Babe, what's happening?
I was just teasing. I needed a plot this Valentine's here. Book one for me.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh. Down is a boom boom pow, down is boom boom pow. Smell fire na uchafuzi na zibita improve down it. Protect nguo zangu na dukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na down is boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, down is new boom boom pow. Smell zote na zi boom boom. Power for freshness, down is boom boom pow. Nani 15 bob too?
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
We are here today to pay our tribute to Dudu. Dudu was full of life. He bit, stung, and made people itch at his own will. He spread malaria with great pride. To the family, stay strong and believe that the larvae he has left behind will follow in his wings.
I heard he was killed by mosquito. His family does not know yet. I said he was killed by mosquito.
Mosquito kills mosquitoes, cockroaches, and all household insects.
Confetti!
A product of Osho Chemical Industries.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute, ETTI, is a student-centered institution committed to offering innovative and high-quality technical training. Join us today and pursue your career at higher diploma, and certificate level in the following programs: engineering, building and construction, business administration and commerce, agriculture and animal health, tourism and hospitality management, education, social studies, information communication technology, accounting, banking and finance, medical and health sciences, journalism and mass communication. Admission for January, February and May intakes is ongoing. Apply now. SMS your details to the numbers on your screen. Those with previous letters of admission to report. Eldoret Technical Training Institute, growing reputation.
Welcome to NTV Sport. I'm Watson Karuma. Now, sports infrastructure, or the lack of, has come to define the current Kenyan administration, with promises made nearly a decade ago to better the country's facilities still ringing fresh. Well, the government is now acting tough, and a number of cabinet secretaries, among them Sports CS Amina Mohammed, were on the road to inspect some of the projects.
None of us believes that the contractor has the capacity to deliver this project. We have proved now beyond any reasonable doubt that he does not possess that capacity.
There's nothing like capacity. There are no technical issues on this. There are a lot of capital required. It is that you cannot proceed with the work without approval.
A case of she said, he said, literally. The bone of contention, Makueni County's Wote Stadium, estimated at 350 million shillings. Commissioned in 2017 by Deputy President William Ruto, the project stalled due to lack of funds. Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed relaunched the project in 2020. The government says that it paid the contractor Nitram and Trafis Enterprise Limited 147 million shillings of the 350 million. Nitram says that the project has stalled due to an unapproved 48 million shillings. With that, the CS announced that the project will now be undertaken by the National Youth Service. Meanwhile, in Kiambu, it was more of the same.
We are getting rains in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and you require to plant grass here. Why is that not happening? You are coming here dressed in a suit to come and explain to us how complicated this project is.
So in our plan, which I think...
The CS was accompanied by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Rachel Omamo, Energy CS Charles Keter, and Sports Kenya officials. Construction of the 4,000-seater Karatu Stadium started in 2017, with an initial completion date set for August 2020. It was projected to cost 260 million shillings. So far, the project has reportedly used up to 124 million, with the contractor blaming the slow progress on delayed funding from the government. Last year, President Uhuru Kenyatta directed that all stalled sports facilities should be completed by the end of the same year, with sports infrastructure key in his legacy.
I can assure you the commitment of our president and the entire government in ensuring all projects initiated, started, are finished, completed, and handed over.
Well, we could be having the, stadia after all. Now, Posta Rangers will look to get back to winning ways in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League when they face Bidco United away in Wednesday's only game. The Mailmen lost 2-1 to AFC Leopards last time out. Posta are currently placed 12th on 10 points, while Bidco are 15th with 8 after just 10 games. Bidco will also be looking for a win, having suffered back-to-back losses in the league that leaves them teetering close to the red zone. Tusker leads the log on 23 points from 10 matches, as Zoo FC tail with just 2 points from 6 matches. AFC Leopards is 4th on 18 points, ahead of the Mashemeji Derby, with their opponents Gor Mahia 6th on 15 points from 8 matches. The Mashemeji Derby is slated for Sunday at the Kasarani Stadium. Football Kenya Federation says that the newly introduced Women's Cup tournament is key in monitoring players from the grassroots level, as well as ensuring smoother transitions into top teams and competitions. According to FKF's competitions officer, Doreen Nabwire, the Cup competition is vital in developing women's football in the country. The tournament kicked off this past weekend when some of the top-tier teams were bundled out.
It is very, very important and very, very key for us looking at these grassroots structures to ensure that at least we have kids, we reach out to kids from primary schools so that you can play. When you're in primary school, you get a chance to play in your mtaa. And then when you move to high school, at least there's still a league that can accommodate you, whether you're in a school setup or not. And then from that, we have the regional league, we have this, we have the county league, we have the regional league, and we also have the Division 1. So we want to ensure that we have that clear structure that will enable a player grow from grassroots up all the way to the top. What do you